Good evening, everybody. Tonight I want to talk about a little bit my PTSD that I've had to deal with for many years. It starts whenever I was a lot younger, before I went in the military, when I've had to deal with as a paramedic. We're dealing with all the wrecks and the bodies I've had to touch that were, well, let's say, not breathing. Everybody seems to think that you can only get PTSD if you have dealt with wartime and things of that sort. That's not necessarily true. I've had to deal with it as a paramedic for 3 years. I dealt with it whenever I was in Panama for the short time I was there with the dead bodies in combat. And even after I got out of the military, I dealt with it as a civilian. When a person has to deal with a PTSD, it's one of the hardest things that you have to deal with. It's not just the military who can get it, it's anybody that has tragic in their life can get it. It's folks who have worked in healthcare, folks had worked in the military, folks who have been in law enforcement, or just anybody. People who have lived in big cities, folks who have dealt with gangs, shootings, have had more than likely dealt with PTSD. Everybody says it's easy to get over it. Maybe for some people. For some people it's not. But a person that has really had a bad case with PTSD, has had a lot of different dealings with PTSD, it's not easy to get over it. Some folks never get over it. Folks who have been to Vietnam, I've talked to, they never get over it. Back in the 70s and the 60s, they didn't know what it was. They thought that people who were freaking out because they couldn't deal with life, they call them weirdos. People that came back from Vietnam, they call them baby killers. They got treated like crap. They got looked at different, treated differently. So they had a hard time dealing with it all. Not just the fact that they had to deal with all the killing that they dealt with over there, but then they came back home and they got treated like they were foreigners again. So they had to deal with all that. My dad, God rest his soul, did 3 tours in Vietnam. For 3 different times he came back home, he was treated dirty. You get people who go over to Vietnam, been to the Korean War, been in combat. The majority of them go through drinking, which is not uncommon. They try to do things to get away from it where they don't think about it. But that's never an answer. The answer is to be able to talk to somebody, to be able to deal with it. That's why we have places like the VA, therapists, folks who are willing to listen to us, folks that are willing to help us. We're never left alone. Nowadays, now we have the VA that is actually on our side. And that's all we ask for. If they help us, that's great. I opened this channel up so maybe we could help each other. All I ever ask is just put your comments down below in a little comment box. If there's something that we can talk about, drop it in the comment box, we can talk about it. If there's something that you do to deal with your PTSD, your depression, maybe it will help other people. Maybe it will help me. Maybe there's something that I do that might help you. We're in this together. Whether you're in the Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marines, Coast Guard, it doesn't matter. We're all brothers and sisters in arms. We do the same jobs. We protect our country. We took an oath. I took an oath that I'll never ever forget. I raised my right hand to defend this country. And if I have to do it over again, I will do it. Whether I'm 25 or 125. I love my country. And I'll protect it. I might have a walker, I might have a cane. But I'll put a machine gun on top of them. And I'll protect my country and my family. So if you like this video and you haven't subscribed to it, hit that little subscribe button down there. And if there's something that you want to say, drop it in that comment box. Hit that thumbs up if you liked it. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down. This is America. We have the right to do what we want to do. It's your choice. Just remember that. We're in this together. God bless and have a wonderful evening.